Welcome to Short Answers, where we take a topic and ask two short questions about it. In this session, we focus on a macro topic, intra-regional trade. And over the two questions, the level of intra-regional trade in Sub Saharan Africa is much lower than for advanced, developed, high-income countries. Question one, what is meant by intra-regional trade? And question two, explain two ways in which intra-regional trade in Sub-Saharan Africa might be increased. So first of all, what do we mean by intra-regional trade? Well, intra-regional trade means within, and it's basically when countries within a region, Sub-Saharan Africa for example, trade essentially virtually identical products between them. In other words, there could be an inflow of cars for a country and an outflow of cars. That would be intra-regional trade. So, for example, in Sub-Saharan Africa, nations might each trade similar products, raw copper or cocoa beans, for example. And we measure intra-regional trade as the percentage of the total value of trade. In Sub-Saharan Africa, it's quite low. It's about 12%, or in Asia, it's much closer to 50%. So here's a good example. These are two countries, Ghana and the Ivory Coast. So this is the pattern of their exports in 2014. And you can see that actually Ghana and Ivory Coast have relatively similar patterns of trade, in particular quite heavy dependence on cocoa beans. Ghana exports crude petroleum, whereas the Ivory Coast exports more in the form of refined petroleum. And they're both exporters of things like coconuts, Brazil nuts and cashews. So explain two ways in which intra-regional trade in Sub-Saharan Africa might be enhanced, might be increased. I think the key point is that the intra-regional trade is often limited, it's often constrained by a lack of export diversification by countries. And oftentimes there are some barriers to trade, including infrastructure and things like tariff and non-tariff barriers. So Sub-Saharan Africa might actually increase regional trade by attracting inward FDI from other countries to build better transport systems, rail, motorways for example, expand and enhance the logistics infrastructure, so that trade and goods and services can more easily move within the region. That better infrastructure would lower the cost of getting products to market. It's also crucial to enhance intra-regional trade for Sub-Saharan African countries to industrialise. So for example, there could be some pro-manufacturing supply-side policies aimed at encouraging diversification, moving away, for example, from primary product dependence. Try to establish and scale up areas of new comparative advantage. That could be, for example, light manufacturing or processing, not just growing tomatoes, not just growing cocoa and coffee beans, but processing them, adding value in the supply chain and branding them, and then selling them both within Sub-Saharan Africa and to other markets. Asia has been very successful in building and scaling up complex, large supply chains. It trades much more within the Asian region than countries do in Sub-Saharan Africa. Intra-regional trade within the Asian economy climbed above 51% in 2013. That, in a sense, should be the target for many countries in Sub-Saharan Africa. Build your infrastructure, reduce your tariff barriers, and get your economies diversified so that you can import and export a greater range of similar products. That's the short answer on intra-regional trade.